Guys, quickly. Yeah, I've been away for the last week or so. I've been really, really busy with uni and deadlines, exams, and a couple of other stuff not related to uni as well. So do apologize if you've been waiting for one of my videos to come out on the news this upcoming week or whatnot. There are some fights that I want to cover for this weekend. I will do them later on in the week. Um, so yeah, I just want to apologize again, and I will be trying to upload more regularly. And since I have more time, I'm going to talk about Povetkin and Lucas Browne in this video. Yeah, so Alexander Povetkin, sorry, has his failed a drug test. It's come back positive, and yeah, I don't like to say it. I've been talking with my cousin Taryn a lot about this recently. Even after the Vladimir Klitschko loss, I saw his physique completely change, and I was very very skeptical. I told my cousin, and he said, "Well, he hasn't failed a drugs test." So I was just like, "It does look like it. That was offline. I'm not going to judge someone until they fail a drugs test." But for me, I was always very very suspicious of Povetkin, and the former opponents he's faced, Mike Perez, Marius Vac, Carlos Takam, they should be very very skeptical of their losses. As I know, the drug was actually banned on the 1st of January this year. Meldonium. I think Maria Sharapova actually failed a drugs test with that specific stimulant. As I know, it's a stimulant increasing blood flow and with that sort of blood cells and all of that malarkey, trying to aid recovery. As far as I know, I'm not a drug expert or a scientific expert, so please don't quote me on that. But that's what I've heard, and yeah, I mean, for me, it's very much so. It looks very bad on the sport, and especially one of the top fighters at heavyweight. He's a top five operator at heavyweight, and he's robbed the fans of a really really good fight, a really intriguing fight against Deontay Wilder, and I'm not a huge fan of Wilder. I'll be fair. I'm not a huge fan of both men. I think they've got both got severe limitations. But let's be fair to the sport of boxing. Sorry, um, it's unacceptable. These I know Rybinski, Povetkin's promoter, said it was about 70 nanograms. It doesn't matter. It could be used as a masking agent, that sort of stuff. So we don't know what the case is with Povetkin, but I know his B sample hasn't come through, but uh, you know, I, big hands up to Wilder's team. They should not be accepting the fight, and they've said the fight is off. I certainly wouldn't want to fight a guy that I known has been on drugs. I wouldn't say consistently, but it certainly looks the case with his physique changing. He's developed monstrous power. He's hitting harder than some top heavyweights. Some maybe even he's hitting harder than someone like Luis Ortiz pound for pound, even though they're fighting in the same weight class. So I mean, it's very very sketchy. With especially with this drug test coming out, it's very sketchy that his big wins prior. And yeah, I'm disappointed as a fan. I really want to see Povetkin Wilder. I was actually gonna release a video about this on Thursday, Friday, talking about it, especially with David Hay fighting, Carlos Cam and Parker fighting, Shannon Briggs fighting, and Dimitrenko saga, that sort of stuff. So I was gonna release a nice heavyweight special, but it's quite throwing a spanner in the works. But it's not the worst thing. I just wanted to speak about Povetkin, and I think I wouldn't say maybe it's time he got busted. I don't want to ever say someone's definitely taking drugs, but it happens all around us. You know, some of my mates who go to the gym and that sort of stuff, they take some heavy stimulants and that sort of stuff. So even at a very minute level, it happens. And I was actually listening to Boxing Gossip's video about it yesterday, and I totally agree with some of the points he makes. So yeah, it's a shame, but that I think that's just part and part of boxing, and then the governing bodies and these drug testing bodies, they really need to stamp this out. VADA, they need to follow VADA's methodology and process, and kind of eradicate all these stimulant drugs or steroid drugs, those sort of any performance enhancing drugs out of the game. It's killing the sport, and it kills big fights, and it creates bad reputations as well. Where do they go from here? I mean, Wilder, he can. I don't know who he's going to face next. What the WBC will do. I don't really know. He might try and go down a unification route now. Since the Povetkin fight's off the cards for that, at least the short term. I wouldn't like to fight him. I wouldn't like him to fight Povetkin anytime soon, if at all, really. But let's see what the WBC says on that. Povetkin, let's wait for his B sample to come. See if it does. If he comes back positive, but for me, if this is the case, and Povetkin's obviously failed, obviously passed 4-5 test in 2015. They should look into it a bit more stringently, and with a bit more caution and care. Um, but let's see what happens with all of this. It's definitely a fiasco that's throwing a spanner in the works for the heavyweight division somewhat. Lucas Browne's obviously been stripped by the WBA of his regular title. Um, I don't want to say he's cheating. If he's come to Russia clean a couple of days before he flew, well, pretty much the morning he flew out, he passed the test, and I don't want to say he is definitely cheating or he's not, because it's counterproductive with the Povetkin saga, but he's obviously failed a test, and something fishy's. I definitely think something fishy's gone on with the Lucas Browne situation, and it does seem like he's a genuine nice guy and that sort of stuff. But if you fail a drug test, you fail a drug test. Let's put it that way. And Lucas Browne, he's 35. He said he wants to come back. He's not going to retire. It's just the start of things to come for him. So hopefully he might get a shot at someone like Deontay Wilder come September, if he's taken out his mandatory by then, depending on what the WBC say. He was quite high, I think, before he fought for the regular title in the WBC rankings. I think he was number 5 or 6. So he could force himself back up the rankings. There's a potential WBO with or WBA Super with Tyson Fury, IBF Anthony Joshua. So there's a couple of routes for Lucas Browne to go down if he does come back. And as I said, he's obviously failed a test. You fail a test, you fail a test. That's just life, and it happens. You can't, as in, if he's been contaminated or not, that or drugged or not. That's for someone else to decide. We're just here to state the facts, and on this channel certainly. So yeah, a bit disappointing news for the heavyweight division. A bit gutted about Deontay Wilder versus Alexander Povetkin being off, but there's some other fights on the weekend, and I'm quite interested to see how he does. Not that I think he's going to lose or anything, but I'm very, very interested to see if he blows out Arnold Jar Jar in a single round, or he gets a couple of rounds under his belt and takes him out a bit later on, maybe round 3 or 4. Shannon Briggs obviously fighting. I don't know if he's fighting Dimitrenko. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a to be confirmed opponent. So let's see what happens with that. Joseph Parker, Carlos Takam, I think is on 12 o'clock around afternoon, midday time in the UK. So I'm really, really looking forward to that fight. It looks a really, really good fight. So I'll do a video about that, and I'm not going to ruin the prediction just yet. Yeah, as I said, some of the quotes that have been attributed to Povetkin Wilder with Rybinski, I thought have been pretty disrespectful towards Wilder's team and that sort of stuff. So I don't like to see them boxing teams going at it over this sort of stuff, especially with a sensitive topic like drugs, especially since Rybinski's fighter in Povetkin has actually failed a drug test, so I don't think he's got a leg to stand on if he's accusing Wilder of ducking and that sort of stuff. Yeah, and shout out to Box Talk. They actually called this right. So yeah, shout out to them, and Boxing Gossip, who's also done a really good video on this topic. So some of the thoughts I've got have been based on them. Some most of them my own thoughts, and I've just been researching all these PEDs and the stories and that sort of stuff. So I'm just glad to make a video and hope you guys enjoy it. If you enjoyed it, as I said, leave a thumbs up. Um, just share the video, subscribe so it gets out, spread the message. And yeah, speak to you guys soon. And yeah, take care, guys. Peace.